Hello and welcome to another episode of Box Banter. I am Timmy, and to my left here is my brother and F1 extraordinaire, Raymond. Yep. This may or may not be take two of this, and I had to come up with something different.
Yeah, right. Trying to throw me off, huh?
Yep.
Well,
You don't show your penis in public in this version of the intro.
Yes, I do.
We are.
I just cut that part out and I save it for the
right.
OnlyFans.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about all forms of motorsport.
You know about this. You manage it. You manage all forms of social. Yeah, you manage all forms of social
You're
media.
right. I just like to act surprised so people don't actually get to know the truth.
So this is you acting.
Yeah, this is me acting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Stay as a Friggy,
don't hire me. Yeah. We're here to talk about Canada.
Okay.
And we'll get to Canada.
Okay. So we're here to talk about Canada, but we'll talk about it later.
This is a huge weekend for motorsport. Did you know there was other forms of motorsport on this weekend besides Formula One?
I wouldn't have if it wasn't for your ongoing yapping about it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
See, I just love all forms of motorsport.
Yeah, I could tell, you know.
I'm a motorsport slut.
You're an F1 cheater.
Yeah.
Is what I think
You've got to be to have enjoyment in your life.
What, a cheater?
Oh, Formula One. Or Formula One, of course.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What, just this season, or like is this a new thing? Or
No, it's not a new thing. I've always you got to dabble. You don't have to be loyal to one category.
Sure.
And it's probably bad for the mental health if you are.
Yeah. Well, I fear that a lot of people have, left the sport.
Yeah.
Due to mental health reasons, probably.
Probably. So listen, I was up at 2 a.m. this morning to watch the Indy 500.
No thanks.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I did doze in and out, and it wasn't. I paid, and as a sidebar, I paid $37 to watch Indy 500 as well.
Oh God, it gets worse.
Yeah, I had to subscribe to KO, then I had to subscribe to KO Sport. Sorry, not KO. Stan, and then I had to subscribe to Stan Sport on top of that.
Right.
So it's a $37 bundle for this one race, and I will.
What, did you get your money's worth, or?
Nah, see, it was okay, and the finish was pretty awesome. Closest finish in history, in fact.
So it was a good climax.
It was a good climax, and they care about the finish. They red flagged the race for a pretty small single car incident, purely so they're not counting down laps, wasting laps, because they want that finish.
Okay.
Which is good, because most categories just go, you know what, we're just going to finish on a safety car.
And by most categories, are you referring to
Formula
Formula
1?
One?
Supercars, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
I'm sorry to say I didn't watch any of the Indy 500.
No. And like I said, it wasn't like the most entertaining. It reminded me a little bit of Formula 1, where they do have... It was like there was constant overtakes. Like I think it also broke the record for the most amount of lead changes as well. But I don't know if that's a draft thing, but they also have push to pass, and they also have hybrid batteries and things like that.
Okay.
So it's a bit hard to really tell what was going on, things like this. But regardless, I gave it a shot, and I don't know if I'd watch it next year. But
well, me and all of our loyal listeners are probably sitting here thinking, when are we going to talk about the Formula 1?
Yeah, well, this is the thing as well. Because of their red flag, they overlapped by 5 laps. And I'm going to tell you, the ending of the Indy race is what you're there for.
Right.
And the start of a Formula 1 race is what you're there for. You're not typically waiting for the end of a Formula 1 race. The excitement is at the start. So it was a tough battle. I was watching Stan on the TV, and I was watching my phone for the Formula 1.
Oh, okay. So Indy had the preferential screen.
It did. And it was tough.
I'm surprised that you revealed that on our podcast.
I was glad for the constant hiccups trying to get the Formula 1 race started, trying to get the Indy in. And I was like, hey, is this on purpose? Is this what Formula 1 are doing? They're like, can we just stall? Just stall. So then everyone comes over and gets to watch the start of the race. I mean, it was a strange situation.
Okay, when you put it like that, I guess that somewhat makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do they really care about the Indy?
I think they care. Of course they care.
They're supposed to be bigger.
No one's big.
So why wouldn't they entice people to switch off and come watch the start of F1? You said so yourself that the start of F1 races are more entertaining than the finishes.
But that's the thing. The finish of the Indy. You watch the whole race. Same with NASCAR. You watch the whole race for the end. It's all about the end, the ending. Like it's all built up for the end, and that's what you need.
Look, to be fair, the moment that George's car took a massive shit, that was the end of the race. So you're right. We didn't get any kind of tension to take us through to the last.
I mean, you barely saw
30 laps or whatever it was.
To everything, but you barely saw Kimi.
No. I mean, he set off 10 seconds down the road, and then it just became a question of, all right, where is Verstappen and Hamilton going to finish?
One last thing on all the wonderful motorsport this weekend. The crowds.
Yeah.
Unreal. And I'd love a fact check on Canada's numbers because I couldn't help but notice the Indy 500 was a sellout of 350,000 people. And
Plus you get an extra 200 miles, which equates to...
Yeah. Well, no, it'd be more than that because a Formula 1 race is...
Well, I was going to say extra 200 kilometres,
yeah,
but
no, right.
then I was like, well, hang on, they're Yanks, so they use a different metric system.
Well, it's 500 miles as opposed to a 300k race. So it's probably about double.
So you get way more racing.
Yeah. It goes... No, it does go a lot longer. But those 350,000 people looked unreal in that arena because it's an arena. It's a big arena, big grandstands, covering half the track.
Yep.
The amount of people there is just chaos. But then Formula One, it's 360,000. I was like, really? They pipped by 10,000.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That was interesting.
Yep.
And then NASCAR was a
Canada
sellout.
v USA.
Yeah, Canada v Indy. Yeah.
So let's actually talk about some Formula 1.
Let's talk about Formula 1. I'm sure most of our listeners watched another form of motor racing this weekend. There was 4 major categories.
I agree. It was a good weekend to be a motorsport enthusiast.
Yeah.
What, out of all the motorsport you watched, what was the most entertaining event? Like, seriously.
Look, probably, honestly, oh man, I reckon it might have been the Formula 1.
Whoa, okay.
The race was
honestly,
decent.
I was hoping that you'd say that, but I wasn't
I
expecting
feel
it.
dirty saying it because the race was actually decent. Like I said, the Indy it was a bit of a weird one. I don't know if it's because it's the first Indy race I've ever watched, so I don't know if it's just like not my wheelhouse. Like I said, I paid $37 for it. Probably wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
Sounds like you didn't get your money's worth.
Yeah, and the Charlotte 600 was bloody long.
It's
bloody long.
Too long, huh?
And NASCAR has a knack for very long yellow flag periods.
I'm a big fan of long races, and we just literally spoke last week about having like a endurance type F1 event. But when you're going around in a circle, there is such thing as too long.
See, there's more to it than that. The problem is they love cautions.
It was 400 laps? I don't need to watch cars go around a circle 400 times.
It was cut a little short because of the rain. So it was about 370. But
they don't race in the rain either.
No, God no.
Wow, okay. I didn't know
constant, not on the they race in the rain.
So most forms of motorsport are now actively avoiding the rain.
Well, they always have and they have to. But they race in the rain on street tracks and circuit tracks and very small ovals with minimal banking.
Right.
The problem is you go around a corner if it's raining, you literally have a river down the banks.
Do they not have wet tires?
Not for the ovals. They don't. They if they get drips, just a couple of drips on the windshield, that's it. They call it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that.
I mean, it's pretty cool how they dry a track. You should see it. They get full dries there. They got jet engines on the back of trucks to blast the circuit to dry the thing off. It's unreal.
All right. So to steer this ship into the correct direction, let me ask you a question. Is George Russell's championship effectively over?
I don't know.
I don't know if you saw much of his reaction post-race and obviously post-cockpit.
His exit from the cockpit.
Yeah. But what is it, a 43-point lead now for Kimi?
Yeah.
That is a tough deficit to come back from.
It is tough. And this weekend saw him potentially, he was 20 and he could have potentially carved it down to 11.
Mm-hmm.
And he, unfortunately...
Do you feel sorry for him at all?
No, I don't. And do you want to know why?
I do. That is why I'm asking you.
I don't like what he did in the sprint.
Okay.
That move, I feel like...
You're talking about the one going into the last chicane?
No. I'm talking about
turn one move. Okay.
Turn one in the sprint race.
Right.
Like, the rules can be written however you want, but you're also meant to look after your teammate a little bit. Yeah. And I just feel like... I don't even know how that was allowed. Like, I don't even know what the rule is anymore. The fact that Kimi was...
They seem to treat when it's inter-team situations differently. Like, I noticed that last year with McLaren. If it was if it was a teammate on a teammate, they kind of just left it alone.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems so wrong. Like, they were turning into the corner with front axles in line. Mm-hmm. And yet, Kimi's going around the outside. He's got more kilometers to take. He's gonna drop back as they get around the corner. But entering the corner, as they were turning in, they were locked wheel to wheel.
Yeah.
He is absolutely should be allowed room.
Mm.
Like, not even as a teammate, just as the other car racing. I mean, we see this all the time, pushing another driver off and all these things. Like, yeah, you choose to go to the outside, but he was trajectory. He was going to stay on track.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Like, what happens if he hit George? What happens if he just goes, you know what? We either make this or we don't. And what if he stays on track? He would have. And then he plows into him at the next corner because of what George did.
Well, from George's perspective, he kind of has nothing to lose. And this was before he even DNF'd. He kind of needs to, like, you know, put his foot down, get his elbows out a little bit more and sort of, you know, try and slap little brother down.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it from his perspective. Do I think it was right? No. I do think that Kimi had every right to be fuming as he was.
Yeah.
And it is interesting to see, you know, Mercedes and Toto Wolff last year were very vocal about, you know, how they would go about the McLaren situation.
Yeah.
Now they're balls deep into it.
Yeah.
And they certainly were testing the authority, weren't they? I mean,
yeah, they were, but we were only hearing one
sprint
side
and the race.
Yeah, I don't know. I like how they're playing it because, again,
so far
for sure. But I've seen nothing that is unfair. Apparently, they said to both of them, like, clean the racing up. I don't know what that means because they never actually touched. Like, yeah, things are a bit rough, but
I think, yeah, I mean, like, look, if you're in a head-to-head battle with your teammate, if you get bested, I think you just have no choice but to concede. Now, that's probably going against what all the greats did, like your Schumachers and your Hamiltons and whatnot. They probably never once backed down or gave an inch. But we're in this different era now where there seems to be more narrative around, like, the teammate relationship and more expectation. But I think, if George is beaten in that moment, he has to accept defeat and then he's got to mount an offense. You know, I think if you're pushing a car wide, risking damage, you know, basically not giving any kind of space or respect to your teammate, then it's like that's a Oreo failure of the system right there.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
You're setting a precedence and then you can't expect the other driver not to do it back.
Yeah.
You know?
This is what I think maybe. And I think last year proved to me there wasn't racing gods, but then it's like, this is them. Yeah. He treated Kimi the way he did. And you heard the crowd. You heard the crowd at that moment in turn one when Kimi was getting it done. The crowd were roaring. He's got some fans out there. And then that's why I don't feel bad. Because it's like, you know what? You raced him like shit. And for whatever reason, that I don't know what the rules of combat are or why Mercedes thought that was an okay move or seemed to, from what we've heard. But then, yeah, you get your own the next day.
Yeah, look, Mercedes are always going to keep things behind closed doors. They're going to have conversations between the drivers and try and, you know, work out who's at fault and how to navigate these things moving forward because it's just going to consistently happen. But yeah, I don't think they're ever going to really come out in public and say what they've advised the drivers to do and how to handle the situation.
I mean, it's very vague. We need to clean up the racing.
I do find it interesting and correct me if I'm wrong, that George has had 3 mechanical issues now. He had the one in China, which basically ruined his qualifying. He had this one, and he had another one in Japan.
I think Japan, he claimed it was an issue with the car. I think it was a setup issue.
Right.
And whatever happened in China delayed one of his qualifying laps, but he still was able to get his final run in. So minimal.
My point being, why is one car falling apart at the seams and the other car seemingly is just robust?
Racing gods.
Is it racing gods or is it Toto flipping a switch to cut the power to George as potential punishment for how he was sort of behaving on track? I mean, I do think that Kimi was all over him, both in the sprint and the race. Kimi was all over him, was applying mountains of pressure on him.
Yeah.
And George was struggling to absorb it. And that's not to say that Kimi was perfect. You know, he had his fair share of little mistakes here and there. But, you know, Kimi just looked like the more comfortable, confident driver out there. You know, so then George had to rely on maybe these dirtier tactics or these more nefarious ways of engaging in combat with Kimi. Yeah. Maybe that was his punishment.
I don't know. I don't see it that way because...
Jeez, you got a nasty cough on you today.
I'm muting it between... I'm hoping it's all good. The commentators, they mentioned, and I think this is 100% true, how many cars were complaining about tyre warm-up issues, struggling to keep the heat in the tyres. And I think it was Bernie actually might have mentioned that the way that the car behind generally overheats because of the turbulent air, like it might actually be a benefactor. And I wonder if there's a lot of truth to that, because how many times do we see the leading Mercedes give up the lead with a mistake?
Yeah.
Pretty often. And then we saw at the back end of the race, Hamilton just carving down the Red Bull, which has been a worse car. But then as soon as he got ahead of Max, all of a sudden Max was racing and stuck to him like glue. And Max was the loudest about couldn't keep temperature in his tyres.
Yeah, I'm sure that's one part of it. Like I did hear that they made the medium tyre this year the same compound as hards last year, which I always hate hearing that.
Yeah, me too. It's like we don't want to get harder.
Yeah. But part of me wonders as well, like with these new engines and the new chassis designs and stuff, and there's less downforce. Part of me wonders, like, has the concept of cars being able to run closer together actually paid off?
I think they're able to run closer together.
Yeah. Because it certainly seems like if you get over, like in the past, the last generation specifically, if you got overtaken, that was basically game over. We rarely saw cars fight back from then.
Yeah.
But this year it has been the opposite. It's been as soon as a car has gotten past the car ahead, now they had to go on the hard defense, and they would struggle to keep that position. Yeah. Barring some sort of massive tire deficit or something. So
that was actually probably my biggest takeaway from this race. Is we talked about maybe last week or the week, Miami, we felt like have they found the sweet spot with the changes they made? And I don't think they did Miami, but I think this race showed it. I mean, without having manipulating overtakes or unreal. What do we say? What do we call them? The overtakes that we had at the start of the year, they were unreal. They weren't genuine. They weren't authentic overtakes. Without literally having that, this is as close as you can get. You're literally getting cars having to fight for an overtake, but also being able to stay close enough to overtake. Like how often in yesteryears was you need to be within a second of DRS, but they struggled to get any closer than 8/10 because of the dirty air. So you're barely getting that DRS. Maybe you can hang it in there, but that's it. Yep. You weren't able to be effective with it because the dirty air was so bad. Whereas now we're seeing those two Mercedes, for those 30 laps, they were within 6/10 generally.
They stayed together the whole time.
Yeah, they're able to follow. They're able to stay close. They're able to threaten an overtake at any point. And besides George's first outbraking himself, and then he was able to just drive right past, which has become a pet peeve of ours. That was the only time it seemed like, what's up here? That was the only time. Every other time was a fair fight and a good battle into a braking zone if you could get the overtake done.
I agree. I think the Canada race was quite enjoyable. I like that track. It is it's a bit of a simple track, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And it's a short one too. You kind of forget how quick the lap goes. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was actually quite an enjoyable Grand Prix, right up until the point that George DNF'd, and then it was basically like, well, the race is over. Like George's race is over.
Obviously in the middle of nowhere.
The race, we'll get to Oscar. The race is obviously over, and then I was even thinking, is that the championship right there? Like the way I see it right now, it's we got to get off Mercedes, but it's funny sitting here listening to watching the Mercedes go through what they're going through when we were going through this last year with McLaren, but we had skin in the game. We're big Oscar Piastri fans. We're rooting for him. Maybe that kind of makes our opinions on things a little bit more biased. It's fun watching a battle where you don't really have any skin in the game and you don't really care what the outcome is.
I do still find myself caring because I just don't like George. So I still would like Kimi to win, but at the same time, if what happened to George happened to Kimi, I would have gone over it very quick. Yeah.
I do wonder if he's making more enemies than fans going through this very...
Probably.
Like, Kimi's testing him, insanely difficultly. Yeah. If that's a word. It's good fun to watch F1 and see these great battles, but it's just such a shame between two cars. And there's not enough of the other field up there potentially fighting for wins. And... look, one of the big records that they're talking about right now is Kimi ripping off 4 consecutive wins from his debut win. Yeah. Which is impressive. But then it does make me think back on a conversation we had last year about what makes more of a difference, the driver or the car. Yeah. And I think this heavily lays into the car. So effectively, every race is a 50-50. For him. Yeah, it's not a 1 in 22 chance. No, it's a 1 in 2 chance. There's 2 cars that are clearly going to win every race. Barring some weird mechanical failure, which only seems to happen on George's side of the garage at the moment. So yeah, whilst it's impressive, at the same time, I'm like, well, he's not battling like four, five, six good cars.
Yeah.
And it's like a chance of like, all right, you really need to put together a perfect weekend.
Yeah.
He can still afford to make plenty of mistakes. And to be fair, through this season, he has been still making a lot of mistakes. He's just got the car that can pull him back into a competitive spot again. So,
I mean, I'd guess if you looked at, I think it was 3 other drivers who'd won their first 3 in a row. I bet you they had their best car. They would have been in similar situations.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to give him props. It's like, this one was, he might have still won it with George in it, and that's the truth, because they both kept giving up the lead. Neither of them wanted to bloody win the thing. George got his wish, I guess. But so he might have still won it. So he did get a bit lucky though, because it was a walk off after that. So that is one thing. But you look at his last 3 races, and he earned every single one of those wins. And again, George wasn't even second, which is why he'd opened up.
I'm not taking anything away from him. You know, you still have to put the weekend together, and you still got to, like, you see the qualifying, the margin between them is nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't afford to make any mistakes or leave anything on the track, so to speak. And we know how important pole position is, you know.
Well, that's the funny thing. I almost feel like it was a detriment to George this weekend. Because, again, I do believe in the helping the tyre temp being the second car. And I think that's, again, why they switched positions so much. Because it's like he's finally, and barely, mind you, but finally put 2 good qualifying sessions together to get pole in both these races. But then it was almost a detriment.
So, fun times if you're a Mercedes fan. However, if you are a McLaren fan, or more specifically an Oscar Piastri fan, well, quite the dreadful weekend to be honest.
Would you rather be an Oscar fan or a Lando fan in this case? Who's it more bad? Who's it more embarrassing or bad for?
I was going to say, are you asking me to...
Well, I know who you'd prefer.
Well, obviously.
But I'm saying, like, you said specifically Oscar. It's like, I don't think Lando fans are too happy either.
No. I don't know. I feel sorry we don't get privy to all the information. But when you show me a broadcast and there's 2 cars on inters and everyone else around them is on softs. Slicks. And you've got one of the drivers begging to come in twice.
Yeah, 2
because
chances.
We had 2 formation laps. Or 3, wasn't it?
3.
And each time he was begging to come in and just let me have the slicks, and they just were giving him excuses as to why he couldn't. Again, it just makes me question, what are McLaren doing? Was this a Norris call? Did they give Norris preference? All right, Norris, what are the conditions like? We're going to go with you. Did he say, I think this is Inters. All right, team, we're running Inters. We're not going to run blah, blah, blah. And then that was kind of a way of saving face or backing the original call. Because I don't understand, why don't you listen to the driver who's on track, who's driving the car, who knows the conditions, and he's telling you, bring me in, coach. Give me some new boots. These are not going to work. And he really didn't want to say the word mistake, but he eventually did. Yeah. He eventually did finally drop the words, I think this is a mistake.
Much to Ted Kravitz's enjoyment.
Yeah.
And that's the only explanation, because Lando was in front as well. If they were worried about, he's going to be behind you, it's like,
is this...
You could have pitted both of yous.
Well, is this as an extension of Papaya rules? Is this that he doesn't want him, it'd be then unfair?
Yeah, that's the only thing
because they don't seem to ever split the
which
strategies.
is a mistake as a team. Like, as a team...
Mitigate your risk.
Split the strat is common across all categories. Like, you have 2 cars for a reason. One's definitely going to hit, one's not. Sorry. But that's just how motor racing is.
But you're still given... Clearly, they gave... I have to assume, right? You asked the drivers. They wouldn't have gone to the engineers... Hey, mate, do you think this is Inters or slicks? And he's gone, oh, it's definitely Inters. And both drivers are standing there going, well, we were just out there and we think this is slicks. And the engineers are overruling going, well, according to the data here, boys, we're going with Inters. Sit down, strap in, shut up.
I don't know if they're punishing him, which is an expensive punishment for the team, mind you. But is it like, okay, they want Inters, okay. you're getting into, but you're going to be stuck on them then. You know, like, and it's trying to teach them a lesson. Like, I can't understand it. Like, we see this fairly often with wet starts, is teams changing their mind and pitting on the formation lap to change tires. Because imagine where they would have easily finished in the points. Or they would not Lando, but they wouldn't have had the situation, because then they are immediately on the back of the pack with, as Oscar said, warm tires, fresh out of the blankets.
Yeah.
As opposed to all these cars have just done 2 laps trundling around. So you got that advantage.
That doesn't even make sense, does it?
Instead, you do 2 laps on inters, and then you pit, and then you go to the back, and
it's just the most bizarre call. I mean,
you qualified 3rd and 4th, and you've just thrown your whole weekend away.
Yeah, and you like, you know, Lando DNF'd. You can't help that. Something's gone wrong there. Piastri had a hell of a weekend. I mean, just, you know, put up a pretty ambitious move and speed into the side of Albon, effectively taking him out of the race. Not his finest moment, I will say.
Especially after everything last year with Lando's dive bomb on Oscar. And how hard we defended Oscar, and because Oscar had to make a...
To be fair, that corner was catching out a lot of drivers, including Kimi and George, because of the tailwind or whatever they were saying. But
that was a shocker.
Extremely ambitious.
He didn't even I didn't see a lockup. He didn't even try to completely bail. He just...
I wonder, knowing, you know, some of the errors that he made last year, I wonder if he has maybe a little bit of a patience issue. And what I mean by that is, when I play the F1 game,
okay,
right, and I fall to the back of the grid,
give it to me.
I then immediately try to make up as many positions as I can in as few corners as possible.
Yeah, you go from 20th to 10th in one corner.
Yeah, you go for those shocking dive bombs where you're I'm just going to take all 4 of them right here, right now.
So you think Oscar is in that mindset, do you?
I'm just starting to wonder a little bit if patience is maybe the weakness in his game. You know, where it's I know it sucks being stuck behind these 2 turtles.
Yep.
Is the kindest word I can think of right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe doing a dive bomb on a hairpin with cold tires in not great conditions and trying to overtake 2 cars essentially wasn't your best idea.
I think he's definitely probably feeling a bit of pressure, because Lando somehow was 3-4 seconds ahead of him straight out the pits. So my guess is Oscar had a bad stop as well.
Anytime he did in qualifying, Lando just bested him, immediately.
But Lando was making pretty easy moves on that same traffic. So I don't know if that was Oscar's... You know, he's probably seeing that, okay, there's Oscar, there's Lando in front of me. You know, he's 4 seconds, whatever, directly in front. And then, okay, he's past that car. Okay, he's past that car.
All of a sudden, there's 3 cars in between them.
So I think that was probably a bit of it. He's probably okay, this is not good. Why am I struggling so much? And I think it was a genuine mistake. But I just don't know why there was no effort to bail. There was no... I reckon he would have had was it a Haas or an Alpine, whatever it was? He would have had that car easy. I don't know what happened with the Williams. I don't know if he expected the Williams to not cut across, so he was sort of... I don't know. It was so strange. But like I said, there was no lockup. There was no bail, abort, try to get out of it. And again, maybe that's learnings from last year, because the amount of times he already had 2 accidents where if he didn't lock up... there wouldn't have been a penalty, but the lockup was you're out of control. There's the whole basis of the penalty was because you locked up. Yeah. We said it. Okay, next time don't lock up and just plow and crash and then go, he turned in on me. But because you locked up, because you're trying to bail, is that learnings from last year?
That's effectively proof that you're out of control or not in control of your car.
So instead of trying to bail out of an incident, just plow into it. I mean, you got penalised for it anyway, so we should have in this case. But is that learnings from last year?
Well,
don't bail.
At the end of the day, it seems like this season is one to be chalked up to learning, because I don't think the season's going to get much better for him. It just worries me. You know, he came out and shut down all the Red Bull 1-for-1 swaps and all this shit. Yeah. But he did cheekily say he appreciates the the attention and whatever.
Well, trust me, I think Red Bull are probably also rescinding. Can we backpedal here?
But you reckon? Why? Because
after that weekend,
yeah. Well, this is a little bit different. These conditions are always going to be a bit more favourable to someone like Verstappen.
Yeah, we've just spent how long telling...
Great segue over to Verstappen.
How long have we been talking about these conditions are perfect for Oscar as well?
Well, yes, but we know that... Okay, but we're talking about Max in particular. We know that wet weather and rain is the great nullifier. And it basically, removes any of the the shortings of the car.
Yeah. It leans the scales, like as you said earlier, between car versus driver, making an alteration.
So
like
when I
heavily
woke up
leans the scales towards
at
driver.
5:59, and I switched on the TV in the coziness of my bed, and I saw it was sprinkling, and there was a little bit of water. Straight away, I was like, Verstappen's on. Like, this is what Verstappen needs. Because I'm sure that the car hasn't actually magically come good all of a sudden. I'm sure that's still a car that deserves to be down in 7th, 8th, 9th.
Where did the other car finish?
Yeah. But, he managed to finally snag a podium.
Yeah.
So, and he had a little tussle with his old mate Hamilton, which was nice.
Yeah, bit of a throwback.
Yeah.
Bit of a retro.
Yeah, it was nice. It warmed my
between
heart.
those two, yeah. And the commentators, they get a hard on when those two get together.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm right there with him.
It's been 5 years since we've seen them two really have a good,
I was just thinking
good battle.
like 5 years has passed since
their
iconic heavyweight bout. So, anything else you want to bring up? I mean, there's a lot. One off the top of the dome is 6 cars DNF'd and only 7 cars finished on the lead lap. 4 cars. Okay, jeez. 4 cars finished on the lead lap.
Yeah,
that's dreadful. That's dreadful.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
This again, it goes against the whole thing of like, what are we doing with the other? Like, so great, we have 2 extra cars on the grid.
Oh yeah.
But what are we like? What are we doing here?
Yeah, and that's why the FIA are always hesitant to add extra cars to Formula One because they don't want cars making a mockery. They don't. They're probably very disappointed us in Martin when they rolled out with a car that can barely reach 110%.
Yeah.
That's the truth. They not only do they when they look at adding cars, are you actually financially viable? Like, we don't want to have to go through administration in 6 months. And can you make pace?
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, like that's what they're strict on. They want cars that can actually afford it, and we're not going to be silly in a year and have to shut down and do all crazy stuff. And at least make some pace. So, but it's a sliding scale now. Looking at that race, you don't have Aston Martin who are just like 10 seconds off the pace anymore. Like, the whole field's kind of within 3 seconds, which isn't good enough. But it is like a sliding scale now. So it's not like you crazy outliers down the back, which is something. But I kind of like it.
You say with 4 cars on the lead lap.
On a very small track with no safety cars.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe it's a sign of tracks like that again are maybe a little bit outdated for modern Formula One.
Yeah, and they even said during the sprint, half the cars just turned into a test session. That probably happened with the Grand Prix. As soon as the writing was on the wall, we're not getting rain. You texted me, was it Bottas was overlapped in 10 laps. In 10 laps, he'd found himself a lap down.
Yeah.
And then and then, I don't know if you noticed, but he pitted. So it's like, again, half these cars are probably turning these things into into practice sessions.
Yeah.
Just data logging, changing tires and chalk it all up to learning.
All right, let's move into the categories.
So I've got the categories this week.
Ooh. I'm very keen to see what you've come up with.
Thought we'd change things up a little bit and let you yap.
Let me riff.
I want to hear you yap. All right. So final boss category. Traditionally best performer of the weekend. The final boss of the weekend, if you will, the greatest.
Sure. Yep.
So I've got 3 options for you. A, Kimi, who won from the front row.
Yep. Super hard to do in a Mercedes.
Yep. B, Hamilton's pass on Max into turn 1.
To take second place.
Yep. And obviously he came from 5th to 2nd, so pretty cool there. And C, Mercedes-Benz for putting dry tyres on a dry track.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that just seemed like it was obvious to everyone.
Yep.
That wasn't orange. All right, well, yeah, it's got to be Kimi. It's the obvious thing, but I thought...
Hamilton, he did get driver of the day.
He did get driver of the day, and I think it's great for him and it's great for Ferrari, but does anyone really care if he comes second? I mean, there was a lot of two of the 2 cars that would have finished ahead of him DNF'd.
The McLarens?
Norris and George.
Yeah, okay.
And then you had Piastri.
Wow, that's very honest of you.
And then you had Piastri, who was just taken out of the competition.
That's very honest of you.
So 3 cars ahead of him.
Okay, so you're changing your answer.
Well, 2 cars DNF'd, and then you cut me in.
No, I was just going to say, because I didn't think Piastri would finish in front of him. But I agree that George and Norris may have.
Okay. Well, 2.5 cars then.
Right.
Potentially would have finished ahead of him.
Yep.
I'm not liking this shitting all over Piastri side of yours.
He's
taken a
just
different
really
stance this
letting
year.
me down. I've just got to say it.
I'm more worried about his media stuff. The whole oh no, I'm here with McLaren for 2028 and they treat me great. And it's like, do they, bro? Do they?
I said last year so many times, I love turning on qualifying. I love that. I feel like he's got a genuine shot at this. Now, I'm like, I'm 10 laps to go. I'm like, come on, get that 1 point. It's reminding me of watching Mark Webber. It's like, come on, man, just dig deep, just get that point. Yeah. Get that point. What the fuck do I care about him getting a point? But that's what it is now. That's what it is this year. Yeah, you're watching qualifying, you go, oh, you fucking couldn't get Norris again.
Yeah.
Couldn't get Norris again. And then now I'm watching the race and I'm like, come on, get a point. And I'm looking at all the goddamn cars with exclamation marks next to them. And I'm like, oh, if any of these got a penalty, is he going to get in the points? And, yeah, not really. I mean, bloody the Red Bull, we'll get into it. But he had like 50 seconds of penalties. Nothing. It's like, watching Oscar this year, it's for sort of the second or third race in a row now. I was like, oh my God, it's tough.
So, with that being said, I think, Kimi deserves it well and truly. I mean, he handled George, I thought, expertly.
Yeah. Is it the first time we've really had to see them go wheel to wheel this year? Really?
It's definitely like the most aggressive that they've gotten. They've had like passes here and there.
Yeah.
But this was like a straight up, dogfight between the two of them.
I agree. Especially in the Grand Prix, just non-stop.
And despite what happened to George, you just look at, I'll say body language or car language. Kimi looked far more
composed
of a threat.
Yeah.
Than George.
I agree. And it's really disappointing that he made that mistake because, George made the same mistake, but he made it 3-4 times. It's a bit of pressure built up. So it was a shame that he made that same mistake and he wasn't able to just undo it the way George was, and he wasn't able to just drive back by him, see you later. If George retires from second, it's a different feeling.
I also think, though, George is driving with a little bit of an element of I don't give a fuck kind of thing because this is slipping from my fingers and I can feel it, so I'm just going to do what's necessary.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that Kimi isn't driving like that. I don't think he's throwing the full kitchen sink at George. I think he's still giving him plenty of professional respect and space. But if George keeps, doing what he does, that'll stop at some point.
I don't think Kimi did anything wrong. Again, I think George did the wrong thing in the sprint. Kimi walked over to him after the race. They dapped up, seemingly okay so far.
And that's what you want to see, because you want to see if something doesn't go against you, beat them on track.
Yeah.
Don't sit in the cockpit and whine and bitch and do what Hamilton used to do and whatever. If things don't go your way, be the bigger man,
Yeah.
So, Kimi, right. I think
Kimi Antonelli, final boss. Yeah. Probably for the 4th week in a row. Probably deservingly so.
Probably. I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone what we spoke about last week. But
Classic line from me. Make a t-shirt. All right, noob category. The noob of the weekend. The worst.
It's my favourite category, to be honest. Yeah.
Hadjar for his 10-second penalty, then his stop-and-go penalty. In one race, within 10 laps.
Yeah.
Oscar Piastri crashed into Albon. We've already discussed that one. And Car's 5th to 22nd for all going a lap down.
Okay. Ooh, that's a tough one. Naturally, I don't want to go against my boy.
Naturally.
But that was a noob move. That really was.
For an individual maneuver in the race, do I? I've banned him from the pod, but do I compare him to Liam Lawson for that maneuver?
No. Don't.
No?
If you do, then I'm replacing you.
Okay. If you don't think that
if you stoop to those levels of calamity.
If you don't think that was Liam Lawson-esque, then we won't bring it up.
Like I said, a lot of big names were making that same mistake at that corner with the tailwind. So I think he was just caught out.
Okay.
I don't think it was a genuine, an egregious miscalculation. I think he was a bit ambitious, but then got caught out, and it just was worst case scenario, essentially.
True. Yeah, okay. Did cause Alex Albon to immediately retire from the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and that sucks for him, but he wasn't going to do anything with that position anyway, let's be honest.
Most likely.
I do look at Hadjar's race, and I do think like he has these flashes of greatness where you're like, oh man, like he can qualify really well. He looks fast. If he can just get that consistency, get these stupid mistakes out of your race.
Yeah.
Like he could legit, like this is a perfect weekend where he could have easily possibly been fighting for a position. For a podium, sorry.
Right.
Not a position. He already had a position. A podium. Because you've got 3 big contenders out of the way right there and then.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have 40 seconds of penalties or whatever it amounted to, because it was a lot, he could, like, maybe he just finishes off podium. What did he end up finishing in the race? Fifth. Okay, so it wasn't really...
First car lap down.
Really wasn't that bad.
He didn't lose a single position.
He's hilarious first car lap down.
Yeah.
Not that bad, but it could have been so much better. I think he missed a great opportunity.
I don't think it could have been that much better, but I do think he obviously took himself out of contention to race for 4th. Because as we've said, that car in second seems to be able to race better. So he took that all out of option. Like because also that move on Charles was also pretty noob. Charles had a choice to go on the grass, crash into him, or bail. And you shouldn't be forced into that situation.
I forgot about that. I forgot about the severity of that penalty. So I was
and then let's not forget, he also went back to the left and also made Leclerc lift again.
Yeah.
So down the same straight.
Two moves.
That literally made Charles completely bail.
Literally, if anyone had watched like one episode of Drive to Survive, and that's all the Formula One they've ever watched, even they know you don't move twice.
Yeah.
So I was leaning towards Piastri, but that alone I have to give it to Hadjar. I think that is.
And then I'd love to know. I know his penalty was for a yellow flag infringement, but what did he do? Because you don't see a stop and go penalty. Like Formula One love these 5-second, 10-second penalties. Not only did he get a drive through, but he then got a 10-second stop and go on top of his drive through penalty.
Quite severe, isn't it? Yeah.
Very severe. Like you got to wonder.
You should have probably researched that before you came on.
But it'd be nice if they taught us on the Sky Sports stream.
I don't want to do any more work than I need to, other than watching the race.
No, there's a lot of racing to watch. A lot of racing this weekend. I've already disclosed that. But okay, so yeah, we're thinking Hadjar. I tend to agree. I think the biggest noob moment was Oscar, but I think the biggest noob of the race has to be Hadjar.
Yeah.
I mean, there's license points that these drivers carry. And I got to imagine he picked up a couple.
True.
In this race.
I mean, like you said, stop-go penalties don't get 10-second stop-go penalties don't get dished out very often.
You never see a drive-through, let alone let's throw
when was the last one you saw one? All right. What do you got next?
All right, we got the buff category.
And sorry to anyone who's having to...
I do apologise.
Hear how sick you've been.
I do apologise. Very much so. All right, buffed. A. Franco Colapinto for his career best 6th place finish.
One better than his previous.
Yep. Bummer he couldn't get to 5th, even with all the penalties. Couldn't quite get there to Hadjar. Max Verstappen for his first podium of the year. Or Sergio Perez.
For
DNFing, whilst also simultaneously finishing 3 positions better than he qualified.
I'm not giving it to that. That is ridiculous. I don't think he can be proud of that at all whatsoever.
It's probably the most progress he's made.
It is hilarious. It's a hilarious stat.
Yeah.
It's got to go to Colapinto.
Yeah. I got a feeling we gave it to him last week too. He's on song now. He's found something.
I was impressed with his qualifying. And then when I saw his name hovering around in that 7th, 8th position there, holding everyone back, I thought, geez, he's doing well. You know, so these are the races again that you got to take advantage of when other people suffer great misfortune.
And Pierre was only 2 spots behind him in 8th, so he's outraced him, and they both clearly had pace.
Which, even that doesn't happen often.
No,
he probably hasn't been looking racier than Pierre really ever.
No.
But recent form, he's starting to starting to find something.
2 races in a row, points out raced Pierre. Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right, good on.
Flavio's getting his wish.
Yeah. Well, what was the thing? If he's going to retire, if it doesn't work out this season, he's going to retire.
Franco said that, or Flavio.
We covered it. We covered it.
Did we? Oh,
yeah.
See, I'm going to say it. I don't remember what I did yesterday. I don't know. What? He's interim.
Well,
is he going to retire or is he going to be given his orders?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that's that holds the same sort of significance as a lifetime ban. So
Yeah. But also, what's working out for an Alpine?
I can't remember what it was
We know he
specifically.
loves to set benchmarks
Well,
or goalposts.
I don't know if it was just beating what they did last year, and that really isn't that hard, or if it was
So they
that
added 2 more cars to the grid.
Backing Colapinto eventually comes good.
He added 2 more cars to the grid, and then his whole goal was not go from the 10th worst car to the 11th worst car.
Yeah.
That was his goal.
Probably.
And 2 of them are brand new
Look,
teams.
let's be honest. Knowing him, that probably was his benchmark.
Yeah.
I will quit if we finish lower than what we finished last year.
Yeah, that's funny. It's probably true. Yeah. He put his house on it.
Yeah.
All right. So what did we give that to, Franco? Good stuff. All right. Nerfed category. You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm. Hit me.
A, McLaren's strategy.
Yeah. That's a layup right there.
Yep. B, Audi. No points, which is something they've been pretty consistent with scoring some points this year.
Sure.
No points, even though there was 6 DNFs and neither McLaren scored. So again, there's a lot of...
So you're saying they nerfed
like
their
Australia,
own
the
Grand
first
Prix?
sort of 3 races, they were able to get 9th to 10th. Like, they were getting in the points.
Okay.
If this was a golden opportunity for them to get points, neither McLaren scoring, George out of the race, 6 total DNFs, felt like they should be getting points.
Okay.
And Leclerc for his just complete lack of pace compared to Lewis.
I mean, I'm giving it to McLaren's strategy. That is a bonehead move.
Well, you don't like Inters on a dry track with a clear radar?
Funnily, no. No.
It's a bit Ferrari of them, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of memes floating around going, wait, when did McLaren hire Ferrari strategists?
Yeah.
So,
Is their strategy stubborn? Is that their strategy? We're going to be stubborn.
Well, yeah. I mean, we already covered like the radio chit-chat back and forth. So they had 2 opportunities to correct their mistake and they refused to do so.
The FIA really giving them a bone. Like, all right, it's dry.
And
okay, all right, we got a broken down car, go again. We'll
let
give you
us
another
not
shot.
forget too, this is the World Championship defenders. They should know
Drivers
better.
and constructor.
Yeah, they should know better than this. So, yeah, I mean, that almost is more noob-worthy than nerfed. But since you've got it in this category, I'll give them the nerfed.
And they do, and again, I just love the fact that they had 3 chances to make the right decision. And I said to you as well, like we were texting, I was like, man, this is like 10 extra minutes of this track drying.
I don't remember hearing any of Lando's radio, do you?
No.
Whether he had any input on it?
No.
Which is, to me, that's sus. That's just sus.
Yeah, and that's why I do wonder, with him being in front of Oscar, was it like Lando wants inters, which means we're both doing inters? Like if he said, yep, softs, no doubt they both go in because Lando's in front anyway. He's not losing out.
And who's typically better in the wet than Lando?
Oscar, of course.
Of course.
I mean, Lando would be chuffed. He somehow went to first while Oscar went back to 5th. So off the same row of the grid.
It all worked out in the end. One of them finished and one of them didn't.
Yeah, whoopee for 11th place. All right. McLaren strategy nerfed. Nice. All right. AFK. Safety car. We had 3 VSCs instead.
Although no one really with like any major...
I feel like they could have called
incidents.
a safety car for George. I feel like that could have been a safety car. Again...
Well, I'm talking about like...
Forgive me...
Like there was no real crashes or anything this race. So...
I mean, they had to have... Well, there was debris at the hairpin, which they could have called a safety car to clean up. And I feel like George's car was in a bit of a tricky enough spot that they could have called a safety car for that. And again, forgive me for being... For wanting to be entertained. Forgive me for wanting to be entertained.
How dare you?
Like...
How dare you?
I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's a me. Maybe it's a me problem for wanting to just watch TV and enjoy what I'm watching. And we have... Formula 1 had real life opportunities to create entertainment, and they didn't want to do it. Instead, we're going to throw these VSCs out that just don't provide any entertainment.
Considering how much control they have over the sport, you know, in every way, to basically manufacture a result if they wanted to, it's funny that they don't take the easy ones.
Yeah,
you know?
Very frustrating. Lap 69, lap 70, they were AFK.
Oh, yeah, literally.
And the rain, because as you also said, I texted you as soon as I switched from IndyCar to Formula 1, and I saw I heard through the commentary, like, you know, whispers of rain and could see some intermediate tyres. I was very excited.
So remind me again, what was your first one?
Safety car.
Safety car, okay.
Second one was lap 69, 70.
Yep.
And the rain.
Ooh, they're all kind of terrible.
They're all factual.
Yeah, sure.
Well, did you wish there was 2 extra laps on the back end of that one?
Not really, because when it was happening, my thought process was like, this is bizarre. And then I was like, imagine being a paying fan, being at the track, and then having 2 laps essentially like reduced from your...
Especially if you're on the other side of the track and maybe there's no TVs there and you go, all right, formation lap, let's go.
Yeah.
And then they just crawl past you and you're like...
I mean, I don't know what kind of cost-cutting Formula 1 are doing, but they're cutting races, they're cutting laps now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, where does it stop? But
you're right.
I don't think I'd give it to that because at the end of the day, I was thinking like, oh, you kind of robbed of 2 laps. But then I was like, well, most Formula 1 races kind of end really dull and boring. So, you know, I don't have to kind of witness, like this is just as entertaining as watching that.
You do kind of go, 10 more laps? Far out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Especially when it's those like terrible times of watching. So yeah, I'm going to scrap that one. The safety car and the rain, I guess they kind of go hand in hand.
I was excited for they've talked up what the changes they've made to the regulations to aid safety in the rain. And
if I think about which one I'm let down more by, it's probably the rain. I'm hanging to see a wet race and see how everyone handles it with these cars and whether they let them race and whether they can use the wet tire this time or whether it's inters only. That would have been nice.
Yeah, we want to test the waters, literally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'll give it to the rain.
I mean, I just want Formula 1 to bring the safety car out. That is all. Like, it does provide action. That is a fact. And it does allow the opportunity for chaos.
And that's what we want. Yeah. That's what we're here for.
It's an entertainment industry.
A chaos industry.
I said at the start of this, IndyCar, they pull a red flag with 6 laps to go, purely so they can get the finish in, because they don't want to waste laps on a yellow. It was a nothing crash, red flag. Let's go. We want that entertainment. We want that last couple of laps, the highlight of the whole event. Formula 1 are just like, there's a shitload of debris down there. Yeah, just call it VSC. Get the marshals on track. Everyone can just figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, George is walking on the racetrack. Walking on the live racetrack.
He threw his headrest, into the middle of the road.
No fine for, but they felt like it was... did he get fined?
He got fined.
So they felt like it was dangerous enough that he deserves a penalty for reacting like a baby, but not dangerous enough that they need to actually react quickly. Safety car right now. George is on track. His headrest is fucking in America. It's not in Canada anymore. And we need to get this car recovered. But a VSC will do.
He got fined €5,000 and it's like a suspended fine, which I think
if he does it again, then he has to pay.
Yeah.
So he gets a second.
Yeah, and it was because he apologized to the marshals or something.
So they had to go get his. They had to go pick it up.
Yeah. I tell you what though.
Goodness me.
If I think about all of if I think about the race and my favorite parts of the race, there was a few there. It was an entertaining race. It was one of the best one of the better ones we've seen this season for sure. Yep. My highlight always is and always will be watching George Russell throw a tantrum. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, he had the full slapping of
my favorite shot because I love movies and I love cinema and stuff like this. So
you're the type of bloke who calls things films. Hey, you got to watch the films and the pictures.
That's it. And one of my favorite shots that they did was, the marshals are bringing the car in and he's already helmet off behind the barriers. And he's just like deadpan looking through and he's just sitting there just shaking his head.
It's contemplation.
And I was just like, wow, this is so dramatic. It's great.
Cinematic. That's making it to DTS next year.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, look, I know there's no love lost for him with you. But I do feel for the guy. Like he's got this young hot shot coming through, and he's just putting screws on him.
Yeah, too bad.
And he's fighting for his life. Like legit, he's fighting for his life. If he goes down to Kimi this season, he's never going to come back from that. No. Like I'm sorry, you're just not. You now you're in the cuck chair at Mercedes for life, and then it's up to you whether you want to stay there, and be the next like Valtteri Bottas and. Yeah.
I mean, over his lifetime with an aging goat, they end up bang equal. You had an aging retiree, and you were meant to be the next hot thing, the next best thing since sliced bread, and he couldn't even put it up on Hamilton. No. And then now he's got the actual next best thing since sliced bread coming through, and giving it to him way too early.
Yeah. So how long until we see him in an Alpine or a fucking Haas or something?
That's a sad trajectory, but you're right.
Yeah. So anyway, what were we talking about?
AFK. You haven't selected safety car.
Oh, no, I did, yeah. So I selected rain.
Rain, yeah. Okay. All right, Easter egg. Do you have one?
No, I mean, look, I had a look. There was nothing really of interest. I was a bit confused because everyone's, harping on about Antonelli 4 wins on debut or off debut, and it was like bizarre wording. And like, I know that there's not a lot of stats with Formula One, so they really kind of have to dig deep and kind of manufacture stats.
Well, he's broken this run. Every week he's broken some kind of a new record.
And I do think like, man, we went through a dominant period of Schumacher, then we went through very soon after a dominant period of Hamilton. Hamilton?
Or Vettel. Vettel's probably next.
Vettel, yeah, sorry, Vettel because of Red Bull. Then Hamilton, and then Verstappen.
Max, yeah.
And you think, how is this kid already breaking records?
Yeah. But it's all
what
like
is left out there?
It's all the niche records. Like, he just missed out on the youngest ever Grand Prix winner, but then he's gone on to be, the first driver to get his first 2 poles in succession, his first driver to get his first 2 wins from pole in succession,
3.
and then it was obviously naturally the 3 poles, 3 wins from pole in succession, and now he's the first driver to ever get 4 wins on the trot since his first win. It's like, okay, next week it's going to be obviously, if he wins, 5 wins in succession from his first, and that's going to be a record. I mean, at this point,
let's be honest.
Are we sure he's ever going to not win a race again?
I don't think Monaco's next week. I think it's a week after. I think there's
Monaco. No, it's next week.
Okay, I could have sworn I heard him say on the coverage in 2 weeks' time. But either way, I mean, how do you not back Kimi right now? Like, it's going to be one of the 2 Mercs on pole. Whoever's on pole wins the race. How do you not back Kimi?
Probably experience, to be honest. Around that track, not necessarily bravery, but like contained bravery.
Because
he's going to be brave.
And you think that's something that defines George, contained bravery?
No, but it comes with that bit of like warming up to your lap around that track. Kimi's going to be balls to the wall from lap 1 in free practice 1. He's not going to do the 15 seconds off the pace through practice, and then Q1 you get into it. Like, I imagine Kimi's just going to be like he'll be up. I'll say now, he'll top every session except for maybe Q3.
Okay, you heard it here.
Except for maybe Q3, because again, George made the smarter drivers, they'll just get up into it. They'll ease up to their brake markers. They'll tell that the final lap in Q3 will be.
So you're saying
balls to the wall for everybody.
You're saying Kimi's going to dominate the whole weekend up until Q3, where George will snag him, and then George will probably get the Grand Prix win.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Do you have an Easter egg?
I do have an Easter egg. So the margin between George and Kimi in both qualifying sessions was 0.068.
I did see this one. Yeah, I did see this one.
And they were like half a second quicker in the GP quali.
Yeah.
So their peak speed had gone up half a second, yet their margin between them was exactly the same.
Pretty insane, isn't it? That is crazy.
That is nuts.
That is a good Easter egg. Well done. I did see that one. I did think I should take note of it. I didn't, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
So,
which is what tends to happen.
Yeah. That's insane. To be the same margin, but different, like half a second quicker the session after.
You still trail by the exact same amount.
Nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it? That's it for the categories?
That's it for the categories, yeah.
Sheesh. All right. So that's Canada. I quite enjoyed Canada. I will admit that I am looking forward to Monaco.
Yeah.
I mean, I always do. I can't help it. I think it's because Monaco was some of my earliest memories of Formula One, because it is an iconic race.
Yeah. And as a younger person, you're also like, crashes, you expect to see a lot of crashes, and they'll be exciting and entertaining.
That's true. Yeah. We've even seen Piastri put it in the wall at Monaco. I
don't remember.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward. Do we have confirmation if it is next week?
I'm like so sure it's next week.
Okay, all right.
And then the weekend after that is.
I'm pretty sure every episode we've been like, yep, Japan next week, Miami next week, Monaco next week,
and then we're sitting here with a fucking news episode. Well, I guess we were wrong.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Don't go anywhere else for your F1 content because we know best. So, anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
Yeah, Kyle Busch died this week.
Yeah, that was a bit of a out of the blue.
That was a shocker, and it's really quite sad. I feel like you don't really see active sports people. Like, how often does this happen in any sport? Ball sport, doesn't matter. Like, how often are you seeing an active player or driver die, especially outside of the sport? Like, it was a shock, man. Especially like him. Like, I know you don't follow NASCAR, but I listen to 4 podcasts a week on NASCAR, like at least. Sometimes like 5 if I'm getting real keen.
Wow.
And he gets brought up. He was getting brought up in every single episode because he's that naturally type of a character.
Yeah.
No, like every week.
Oh, okay. So not
what's
just
his future hold?
Yeah.
What's going on? You know, how good is he? You know, jokes like heated rivalries, debates. Like
he's one of those people that have transcended the sport. Where if you don't watch it, you've heard of him.
I was going to ask if you had heard of him.
Yeah, of course I've heard of him. Yeah, but definitely a big shock. But you know what's not shocking? You starting off the episode with NASCAR and ending the episode with NASCAR.
Well, I actually forgot to. I'm
really
starting
to question. I'm really starting to question you. I'm worried.
You said yourself, he's transcended the sport. This is not about NASCAR.
Well, it certainly sounds like it's about NASCAR. Sitting there with your Daytona hat. Are you gonna have a Monaco
That's
hat?
because I wear my Ayrton Senna hat and I don't get anything. So it's like, you know what? Fuck you guys.
Yeah, how much did you pay for that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I've disclosed it on a previous episode.
People, please, for the love of God, he's gonna cry. He's gonna cry if you don't comment on his Ayrton Senna hat.
If one person commented, it would have made the purchase absolutely worth it.
Oh, look, how about this? I'll create a burner account. I'll comment on it about the hat, and then we be okay and get off this NASCAR shit?
Put it back on. I'll start wearing it again. Did Formula One mention it at all? Because you would have watched a lot more coverage than I.
No, no, as in I didn't watch a lot more coverage. Usually I do, but because I work weekends and it was a sprint race, it basically meant I had to watch everything delayed. Except for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Which means I didn't really get to watch any pre or post coverage.
Yeah.
So, and someone even said to me like, "Oh, did you watch SQ sprint quali this morning or whatever it was?" And I was like, I accidentally turned it on. I woke up. It was before work. I switched on like my Apple TV and I saw it there and I was like, oh, and it was like SQ2 and I was like, to be honest, kind of perfect.
Yeah.
So then I just started watching it from there.
I might have fallen asleep through probably both qualifying sessions and woke up and peeped the top 10. You go, everyone's there who's expected to be there, and then you just watch the last 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, cool. Didn't get a chance to see anything qualifying. I watched the sprint and the qualifying back to back delayed, and basically
that's what I did as well.
Yeah, basically like as qualifying finished, I was like I maybe had like 10 minutes left because you can just fast forward through all the breaks and stuff. But yeah, waking up this morning at 6 a.m., switching on the TV, being all snug and cozy, cup of coffee. I must say that was delightful.
Bliss. Yeah,
that was delightful.
Yeah.
Those are my favourite Formula One moments right there.
Yeah,
when I don't have to wake up at butt fuck o'clock.
Well, it used to be at 4 a.m. I don't know what happened. Like, it's nice, naturally.
That's great.
6, but...
Yeah, keep it there.
Yeah. I mean, I have memories of being a kid and watching it delayed.
It was a long time ago, so I'm surprised.
Yeah. The Canadian Grand Prix is one track I definitely have a memory of, not watching at 4 a.m., God no, but waking up. Often, it was a public holiday as well on that Monday. Wake up, and same as you, because, I work now, so I get the same privileges, but it's like, or maybe it was school holidays, actually, not public holidays.
I was going to say, I don't think there's any public holidays around this time. But...
Waking up, watching the race delayed, having a nice chill morning. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay, well, wrap it up.
Thanks for joining us for another episode.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Like, subscribe, comment, what your favourite meal is or whatever you like. Or your favourite driver, or, rest in peace, Kyle Busch, whatever it needs to be. Yeah, I'm still not talking.
Oh, but before, do you want to get a Forza session?
Tonight?
Oh, whenever.
Well, yeah. Well, naturally, yeah.
If you're playing Forza, let us know, because I'm addicted to that like it's crack.
Yeah, it's good.
It plays so good.
Yeah. The game, not crack, yeah.
Well, no, both. Yeah,
I
play Forza on crack.
Yeah. That's the best way.
Yeah, that's right. But maybe we'll have to throw up some streams and get you to come on and play some Forza with us. That'd be some good fun.
That would be great. That would be great fun. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you next week for Monaco.
We'll see.
I almost promise.
Okay, we'll see.
All right. See you next week.
GG's. Goodbye.